There are a few aspects that we need to learn in order for us to optimize our images for SEO. Let's take, for example, this keyword here, easiest sports to learn. And you see that my blog actually ranked the first, right over here. Now, if I were to view this article, you'll find that this blog post actually has a lot of images. So you see that Google actually loves content which has lots of multimedia elements, such as videos or pictures like this. So you're always encouraged to have more photos for each web content that you have. So the things that we need to do when we add images on our web page are, firstly, let's look at this photo here. Right click and select inspect. There are a few HTML tags or few HTML elements that you need to take into account. Now, if I were to mouse over to this image right over here, there is this alt attribute for this image tag. It says 5 easiest sports to learn. Now, this attribute here is called alternate text attribute, where it actually describes the context or the meaning of this image. This is typically used when your browser could not load this image. So this text here will replace this box. And also there's a title attribute here, 5 easiest sports to learn here. Now this title here is actually like a mouse over tooltip. Now you see if I mouse over here, you see that there's this text, 5 easiest sports to learn. That text came from here. So every time when you add an image on a web page, remember that you should have your keyword inserted inside your alternate text and your title. So generally, I'm just going to copy the same title or the same text or the alternate text and the title attributes. Now, so that's one thing that you need to do. The other thing is you're also encouraged to name your image with a very descriptive name, the name that defines that image. For example, this image is for this blog post called Easiest Sports to Learn. Hence, I named this image Easiest Sports to Learn. 3 because this is the 3rd version. I actually have multiple versions for this, and this is just the dimension of this image. Now, if we scroll down and let's take a look at this image instead, you'll find that I named this image as Easiest Sports to Learn -running. So it's always good not to leave a space, use a dash instead. Then we're going to look at the dimension of this image. If you look at the width and the height, there's always a recommended or general recommended size. Generally, I would recommend you to have the image as large as possible. However, you need to balance that with the file size. With the file size, as in the kilobytes or the megabyte size of the image. So the larger the image, of course, the larger the disk size for this image. So generally, if you ask me, I would recommend you to have at least 600 pixels for the width here, or 600 to 700 pixels. Nothing less than that. Again, it depends on your website's design. So for my case, this image width size is rather large. It's actually 1280. However, I was able to compress this image to be less than maybe just around 200 kilobytes, which is fast enough for general broadband connection to load.